Hello, my name is Marty. I'm one of the developers for the FREE-WILi product and the 2025 ICS Village Badge for DEFCON 33 that is running FREE-WILi firmware. In this video, we'll be more discussing about the features of the Wi-Fi capabilities of the ESP32. After you load the custom, the default app from either the terminal or from the UI on the badge, the ESP32 will have support for connecting to support for station mode to connect to a access point to be access point itself. Furthermore, there is also a Websocket server to interface to the badge's terminal, and also a web page that allows you to interface it to that, said terminal with the WebSocket, which I'll be going through here. But firstly, I'll be going through the settings that we have here. You can access settings by typing Z in the main menu, and then you can go press W here for settings, and then you have a select amount of settings here to either enable or disable station mode, the SSD and password for that said station mode. That we'll try to find the access point with those SSD and password, or enable access mode, or access point mode, and then the authentication if you want to have that either open or use another security. Use your WPA2 security onto it for adding password. If you want to have an option to either show or hide the SSID of that access point, and then of course the SSID and the password for that access point. So in this case, you'll be going ahead and creating a access point with the WPA2 security. I'll also make sure it turns on. I want the SSID to be visible, and then I'll set my SSID. And badge. How cute. And then I'll set the password. Very cryptic. No one will ever hack it. That password will be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Don't copy it down, please. And then you can go ahead after you set those settings. You can go ahead and back up. Oh, and also another thing too, that you can also modify the settings for the WebSocket server. And that could be accessed by J in the main settings menu. And you have 5 different settings where you can enable, disable that server, what port that server is on. The default port for the WebSocket server will be 8765. And then also, if you want to have authentication attached to that server, we want to support 2 methods of authentication: either have it open or basic. And then if you have basic running, or if you have selected basic, then you can also add the authentication username and password. We'll leave everything as default here, and then as soon as we exit out the main settings, the badge will go ahead and write the settings onto the ESP32, and then we can see what the IP addresses, what the SSID, password, and the IP addresses of our station by going to the menu setting and then going to the AP info page. You can see here we have information about our access point that the ESP32 has created. We see that it's running with the MAC address of the access points, the SSID and password, number of devices connected, and also the IP gateway and mask values of that access point. The ESP32's default from privacy is the IP addresses is 192.168.1.4.1, and we can go ahead and based on that IP address, we have essentially two different servers running. I was talking about. We have the WebSocket server that's running on 8765, and then also the HTTP server that holds a JavaScript terminal running on port 8080. So we go ahead and go to our web page here, and then we can type in the IP address that we see here. 92. Well, first we need to connect to that said Wi-Fi. I'll go ahead and do that now. All right, my PC is connected. Now go ahead and finish typing that IP address, and then open up port 8080. And there we go. There, the ESP32 it has this website hosted onto it, so you can access it for either when it's connected to another access point or when it itself is the access point. And then for here, we have four different main controls. We have a text box here where you can import the URI of the WebSocket, the WebSocket, a disconnect button, and then below you have a terminal where you can type in a command and hit enter. So you can type in the IP address on top, then you can click connect. You can see that we have successfully connected to our WebSocket. Then go down here, enter twice, and voila, you can see we are now interfacing to FREE-WILi WebSocket, and that's where you can start pulling people if they left their WebSocket open. Unless they have at least basic authentication going, where then you have to find out what the username and password is. There's a bit more other features here for Wi-Fi that we can go in here. You can access the console Wi-Fi settings by going to extended functions, then W for Wi-Fi functions, and then here you can enable Wi-Fi event streaming in case if there's a device that has been connected or disconnected. You can set up a separate access point startup and stop to start to stop it. You can get the number of stationary connected access points. I could do that here. And we have essentially my PC that's connected to that said station with its IP address and its MAC address. Also an option to connect to a station, and then you can also scan for wireless access points here with the S option. And there we go. Here's all the cities around my ESP32 that I detected, and then also you can print out info of the Wi-Fi functionality of the ESP32 for the station mode and for access point